There are secrets kept from the world. Those are the ones people look for. The ones that produce the headlines and the speculation and the particular energy of an audience that senses something is being withheld and wants to be the first to know what it is. Everyone understands this kind of secret. It has a logic to it. Public figures have public images, and public images require management, and management requires that certain things stay inside the walls that separate the private version of a life from the version that exists for everyone else. This kind of secret is almost expected, almost forgiven in advance. Of course, there are things he does not share with the world. The world does not have a right to everything, but there is another kind of secret. The kind kept not from the world but from the people inside the walls. The people who are supposed to be on the other side of the management, who are not the audience for the public version but the recipients of the private one. The kind of secret that is kept not because it is nobody's business, but because telling it would change something inside the specific circle of people it would change it for. And that change is not something the person keeping the secret is ready to produce. This is that kind of secret. I want to be careful about how I say what I'm about to say. Not because I am uncertain about it. I am not uncertain. I have been sitting with this long enough that the uncertainty has long since resolved itself into something solid. I want to be careful because the people this involves are real, and the secret, when it is understood completely, is not a scandal. It is something more human than that, more uncomfortable than a scandal in some ways, because scandals have clear shapes that people know how to process. What I am going to tell you does not have a clear shape. It has the shape of something real, which is always more complicated. Start with the family, not the public version of the family, the arranged image, the official portraits, the carefully managed presentation of a unit that is coherent and stable and exactly what it is supposed to be. The actual family, the one that exists in private rooms and private conversations, and the specific dynamic that develops between people who are connected by blood and position, and the particular weight of a shared history that goes back further than any of them can fully remember. In that family, among those people, there is a version of him that has been maintained for a very long time, not a false version. This is important. It is not that he has been pretending to be something he is not. That would be simpler and in some ways less significant. It is that he has been showing them a portion of what he is and not the rest. The portion they see is real. The rest is also real, but the rest has been kept separate, held in a different place. Not shared with the people who, by the logic of closeness and family and the specific trust that blood is supposed to produce, should have been the first to know it. Why? This is the question that matters more than the secret itself. The secret is a fact. Facts can be processed. The why is the thing that requires understanding, and understanding requires knowing something about the specific pressure of being who he is inside the family he's inside. He is not only a son in that family, he is not only a brother. He carries a position within the family structure that means the way he is perceived by the people inside it has consequences that extend beyond the personal. What his family believes about him shapes how they operate in relation to him. What they expect from him shapes what he feels he can and cannot be in their presence. The family is not only family, it is also the innermost layer of a much larger structure, and the innermost layer has its own requirements, its own image of who he is supposed to be, its own version of him that was established early and has been maintained through the accumulated evidence of everything he has shown them across years. He has never shown them this. Let me tell you what this is. There is something he has wanted. Not in the vague general sense of wanting things, not ambition or desire, in the forms that are already known and documented in part of the public record of who he is, something specific, personal, a direction he has been moving in privately, in the part of his life that exists beneath the visible layers for longer than anyone in his family knows. He has been making decisions based on it for years. The decisions are visible. The reason behind them is not. People close to him have noticed the decisions, have noticed a particular pattern of certain choices, the consistency of a direction that seems to have its own logic but whose logic has never been explained. They have attributed the pattern to various things: professional considerations, strategic thinking, the particular pragmatism of someone operating at his level, who makes choices that are not always immediately explicable, but that reveal their reasoning eventually. The reasoning has not revealed itself, because the reasoning is personal rather than strategic. because the thing driving the decisions is not something that fits the framework through which the people around him, including his family, understand who he is and how he operates. Because if he explained the reasoning, the explanation would require him to also explain the thing underneath the reasoning. And the thing underneath the reasoning is the secret. He has not been ready to explain it. I have spoken to someone who has been close to this for a long time. Someone who occupies a specific position inside the circle that is close enough to see things that are not visible from further away, but far enough from the center that they are not implicated in the keeping of the secret. A person who has watched a pattern of decisions and understood the reason behind them, not because they were told, but because they were paying attention in the right direction for long enough that what was hidden became visible to them simply through the accumulation of evidence. This person describes the secret not as a single thing, but as a condition, something he has been living inside for years that has shaped everything. How he moves, what he prioritizes, what he protects, what he avoids, what he returns to repeatedly in ways that people around him have noticed without understanding. A love. Not a new one, not the kind of love that arrives suddenly and produces immediate, visible consequences that the people around you cannot miss. A quiet one, long. The kind that has been present for so long and been managed so carefully that it has become part of the architecture of his life rather than an event within it. Something that was allowed in through a door that was supposed to remain closed, that entered slowly enough that the entering was not noticed until it was complete, and that has been inside ever since, shaping things, influencing things, present in the specific quality of certain decisions that make complete sense once you know it is there and make a different kind of sense when you do not. His family does not know, not because they are not close to him, because closeness and knowing are not the same thing when someone has been careful for long enough. He has been careful for a very long time. Careful in the specific way of someone who is not hiding something shameful but protecting something fragile. Something that exists in a form that is not yet ready for the weight of being known by everyone who would have something to say about it. The family would have something to say. This is the part that the person I spoke to considers more significant, not the existence of the secret. Secrets exist. Everyone has them. The existence of one is not remarkable. What is remarkable is what the keeping of it reveals about his understanding of the people he is keeping it from. He knows how it would land. He has thought about this carefully and at length, and he knows exactly how the people who are supposed to know him best would receive this specific piece of information about him. He knows which conversations would follow, and what would be said in them, and what would be expected of him in the wake of the knowing. And he has calculated repeatedly across years that the cost of those conversations is higher than the cost of the silence. So he has maintained the silence, not comfortably. This is what the person I spoke to wants to be understood, that the silence is not comfortable, that it is not being comfortable, that carrying something significant away from the people you are closest to has a weight that does not diminish over time simply because you have been carrying it long enough to become practiced at it. The weight is still there. It is simply familiar now. He carries it at every family gathering, in every room where the people who do not know are present, and he is among them. And the thing they do not know is present too, not visibly, not in a way that draws attention, but present in the specific quality of the distance he maintains around a particular subject whenever it approaches in conversation. They have noticed the distance. They have not understood it. They have attributed it to other things, mood, pressure, the particular inwardness of someone who has a great deal on his mind and does not always bring all of it into the room. They have let it pass, because letting it pass is easier than pressing. And pressing someone like him in a family like his around a subject that has never been named carries its own risks that nobody wants to assume. So the distance has been maintained on both sides, him protecting the secret, them not asking the question that would force him to either share it or lie about it directly. The question has never been asked directly. The secret has never been told